Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Well, it's here. Today is 10/10/2018. It is October the 10th of 2018, and as was predicted by the Economist back in January of 1988, get ready for a world currency. Very interesting indeed. And this graphic really shows something that could possibly be interpreted today as being the new money, a new global currency. We're going to pick it apart just a little bit, just on the surface, because there's a lot of conspiracies out here about what this rising of the phoenix means. Here we have in this artwork here an example of a bunch of different fiat currencies from nations around the world. And you can see the United States dollar is here. It's represented by a $5 note here. And other national currencies from around the world that would essentially be burnt up. And rising from the ashes here, we have the phoenix with a gold medal around the neck, along with a little crown there on top. The king of the new currencies that has risen up in an age. We have 10/10 phoenix there. And so someone predicted that today would be the day, and actually bookended by August the 15th and I think November the 11th of other important dates. And who knows, maybe we're there. But could it be that the global reset has begun today? And we're going to find out about it. Now, what's special about today? Well, we have a big hurricane called Michael bearing down on Florida right now, and it snuck up on us. And there's a lot of anticipation there in the panhandle of Florida, because the storm has been strengthening, and it's hitting hard right now. And that could be parallel to the economic markets. And as such, gas prices are up, oil is going up per barrel, and we're also seeing the stock market take a pretty big hit today. But guess what's not taking a big hit today? Gold and silver. Gold and silver are kind of holding steady there. What's going on here? Could there be something to this? Well, and that's just it. Whenever these things happen, I think this is quite fascinating that it does make this prediction. And I think there's something to this in the fact that, yes, there's a lot of digital currencies out there in the form of cryptocurrencies. But really, is it really that predictable? Or was it really that hard to predict back in 1988 when there was computer technology was certainly in effect, and the internet was there? It wasn't quite as widespread, but they knew it was coming. Computer technology, computerized banking, it was already there. Let's take a look at the editorial from this magazine. Yeah, I did a little digging and found this website that has basically archived a lot of this stuff. This is from The Economist, January 9th, 1988, from the editorial column. 30 years from now, Americans, Japanese, Europeans, and people in many other rich countries, and some relatively poor ones, will probably be paying for their shopping with the same currency. Prices will be quoted not in dollars, yen, or D-marks, or Deutschmarks, but in, let's say, the phoenix. The phoenix will be favored by companies and shoppers because it will be more convenient than today's national currencies, which will, by then, will seem a quaint cause of much disruption to the economic life in the late 20th century. At the beginning of 1988, this appears to be an outlandish prediction. Proposals for eventual monetary union proliferated 5 or 10 years ago, but they hardly envisage the setbacks of 1987. That's when the savings and loan crisis happened. The governments of the big economies tried to move an inch or two towards a more managed system of exchange rates, and a logical preliminary, it might seem, to radical monetary reform. For lack of cooperation in their underlying economic policies, they bungled it horribly and provoked the rise in interest rates and brought on the stock market crash of October. These events have chastened exchange rate reformers. The market crash taught them that the pretense of policy cooperation can be worse than nothing. Until real cooperation is feasible, until government surrenders some economic sovereignty, further attempts to peg currencies will flounder. And now you got to subscribe in order to read the rest of it. Be quite interesting to see. And of course, it's an editorial. But and the thing is you have to wonder what is the beginning of this, and with the cryptocurrencies and specific technology like blockchain and upcoming hash graph, it does seem more likely, more possible than ever before. But the idea won't necessarily be necessarily a one world currency, but a one world backbone from which to translate different currencies to preserve sovereignty, or at least the appearance thereof. So that Phoenix very well may be the backbone technology and the crypto and cryptocurrencies. Hence, that leads us to what Chuck and Plata sent me, and this is how Goldman Sachs has launched U.S. dollar coin, Fed coin, Coinbase to become the crypto regulatory agency, and could be the beginnings of it, and could be what's been in discussion for quite a while. Again, as I mentioned in a prior video, some of this could already have begun. The reset of the dollar. This may be it. The first cryptocurrency released by a major financial institution. In order to avoid instability and inflation inherent to the unregulated cryptocurrencies, the value of the USDC, the US dollar, will be tied to the dollar. According to CNBC, it unlocks the incredible amount of power for the dollar, says Jeremy Allaire, CEO of Circle. It's basically a dollar that operates on the Ethereum blockchain. There's different kinds of blockchain, hence why you see forks in cryptocurrencies. But the dollar could, in fact, be powered by this blockchain or some form of it. And that blockchain or hash graph or whatever it will be or evolve into could be tied to other national currencies, hence being the phoenix that rises up. And it very well could be that these things are popping up and making their way as we speak, and or have spoken in the past. With previous Fed meetings at Jackson Hole, that town in Wyoming may become as popular as Bretton Woods or Jekyll Island of days gone by. The USDC will be regulated as a registered money services business under U.S. money transmission laws, and as a virtual currency, it will be regulated under the New York BIT license. Furthermore, the company said it would hold deposits on a one-to-one basis in accounts that would be audited on a monthly basis. Each entity that wishes to enroll and issue USDC is held to the same regulatory compliance standards. Circle has said that USDC will initially be available on its native trading platforms like the Circle Trade and Circle Poloniex exchange. Oh, that's interesting. Poloniex kind of looks like Phoenix. And later available on other platforms like KuCoin and OKCoin and CoinX and others. So anyways, that being said, the Fed coin, look at there. Here's a number of banks who are excited about it, will support it. This is the Fed coin, and they point to the same magazine here cover that we saw at the beginning of this video. The USDC is designed to replace the dollar and become its digital version. This is the first step in replacing fiat paper currencies as we, in other words, move towards a crypto-powered global economy. What's really interesting is this is what happened since the USD coin was made available to the public beginning September 27, 2018. This is the value initially looked like on September 28th when you first load CoinLib. There it is. And that's a screenshot of it. Seconds later, it changed to this. Lost a lot. So, anyways, Coinbase will track the regulatory agency, It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Very fascinating indeed, but look at this. Study this carefully. 1010 Phoenix. What does that symbol mean? Who knows? There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are out there concerning this. But I don't, I look back and think about, it's pretty blatant what it's talking about, making this tie in. What will today mean? I don't know. 1010. Why are there two tens there? And in Phoenix, we'll see. What does that symbol mean? The digital currency. It's anyone's guess. But today is the day, supposedly. We'll see what happens. And what will happen in November, if that'll be another day when it'll occur. And it may not be, my guess is it's just going to be something, perhaps it won't be a worldwide, a currency, a world currency, but a world backbone for all the currencies. But how will their strength be tied? Can they be hacked? I still say that regardless of how secure blockchain is, nothing is foolproof. If there's zeros and ones involved, there's ways that it can be compromised. And as I say many other times, with these types of things, the convenience of a digital transaction is amazing and it's awesome, and I'm for the technology, and I'm even okay with having the dollar tied to it or what have you. But true sovereignty and true independence is holding gold and silver in the physical form, because it's truly, you do own it if you hold it. We hold these precious metals to be self-evident no matter what happens, because mark my words, if it is in a digital form as such was predicted and interpreted as a prediction, with these paper dollars, which can not be tracked or not as well as tracked, precious metals cannot be tracked, and any purchase you make with any cryptocurrency could be tracked. And that's the thing that people seem to forget, because they think, oh, well, I can buy anything with Bitcoin or any of these other cryptocurrencies, and I'm free from being tracked. Well, my guess is there's probably some tracking of it you just don't know about. And I don't trust it. I don't trust that aspect of it. I like being able to make purchases or exchange in such a manner or form to where it can't be tracked. And I think that's why cash is holding on for so long for many different things, not just for nefarious purposes. And I'm going to post a video about that later on, how you can make a purchase without it being tracked. And that's mainly cash, but also maybe the resurgence, and talk about rising from the ashes. Think about that, rising from the ashes. Perhaps this has a double entendre. Yes, a world currency rising from the ashes. In other words, something was there before, gold and silver. Maybe it's talking about that. This looks to be a golden medallion, and perhaps one day there will be purchases made with gold and silver as money, fungibility, as inconvenient as it may mean, carrying around coins, silver coins in your pocket to make a purchase. You never know. We'll see what happens. There could be more to this than meets the eye. That little eye right there, look at that. Boom. Look at that eye. Look deep into the eye. Is it hypnotizing you yet? Maybe this means gold, rising from the ashes. 10/10/2018, folks. The Economist predicted it. People have picked it apart, interpreted it every which way but loose. Here it is. Today is the day. We'll see what happens. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.